Hello and welcome to the DFS_PhD show for today, Tuesday, the 9th of January. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Congratulations to Oxenduck, who is the person who won that money. Chris Dunn didn't see that coming. This is the $300 fantasy basketball World Cup qualifier, not the other more important thing, 100,000. I mean, he probably did well in that too. But Nick Richards came back and did all right after a tough start. Zubats is still playing a lot of minutes, even when Nurkic only played 21 minutes in that game. And they were like, okay, we're just going to let Zubats smash on whoever this is. So another good thing to see there. I didn't feel too bad. Denny's going off about 1/3 of the time. If I get a Denny going off game, great. Fading Brown was a debatable decision. He wasn't in the actual 100K winner though. So and Middleton was, so who knows? But congrats to the winners in any case. And yeah, that's I won that 2 days ago. I don't care $300 about that. Which is good because it's a qualifier and almost nobody wins. So you got to take your shots, and yeah, got to play with money that you can lose. So bye money. Don't really care that much. So for today, we have two important pieces of news and sad news at that. Sad to hear about Ja Morant out for the rest of the year, but good news for Desmond Bane. Good news for underprojected, underowned Jaren Jackson Jr. Aldama, if he gets the minutes. Marcus Smart. Now we've got to make sure all these guys have the correct projections. So let's go to Memphis just to show you what I did with their projections. Marcus Smart, I bumped him up to 36. I think a little higher was actually justified based on what we were just looking at, right? Where's that Court IQ? Oh, right. That was a picture of Court IQ. So yeah, he was at 35. So I put him at 36 just because I don't know. I'm not sure what. Yeah, okay, fine. 35 is probably fine. I don't need to be overly aggressive. And then Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. I just think yeah, people are really not ready for the ceiling without Ja. Excuse me. I guess I am a little sick. I might have to cancel my basketball for tonight because I sound terrible and I look terrible. Even if I don't feel terrible, that's not really what being sick is about, right, guys? You're gonna project being nice to the world as well. I don't understand Biombo and why Saberson projects him for fewer minutes. Yeah, he can get in foul trouble, but you take care of that with rules, not with missed projections. Or his average is high. Vince Williams, 29, a little bit higher than he's coming in. I don't think I want to be more than the field on Vince Williams, though. He's just like, he had a great last game. I acknowledge that he had a great last game with several stocks. Might not get there in a regular game. You know what, though? Bane and Triple J are both very in play, very live. I want to be at least having 2x in play and possibly 3x in play on these guys. How did that make my Bane exposure go down? Oh, because it went to maximum Jaren Jackson. Okay. Well, I don't love that. We'll see if that sticks. But obviously, you want a lot of the guys from the teams that have incorrect pricings. So a lot of Memphis guys. Currently, this adds up to what? 95, 135, 165. I have two Memphis guys in every team, and on average. And on Detroit, I have 1.4 guys because Cade Cunningham is out. That's the news on for at least a few days, and the projections are just not there. So I also included a rule that I think is going to be important for Ivy, Burks, and Hayes because I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't looked at we just don't have a good enough sample with Cade out for me to look at rotations, I think. But let me know if you guys have found a game where Cade was out with rotations. I didn't do that before this. But my general sense is that hot hand between Hayes, Burks, and Ivy. Somebody get in foul trouble, they get buried on the bench. Someone hits shots, they get to stay. And it's not clear to me, like these guys, I don't know if they all have point guard eligibility. So Burks is not technically a point guard, but he can handle the ball. Like they don't care really that it be one of Ivy or Hayes. I'm pretty sure. Hey, you know what? I can check that out. A popcorn machine and go to home and we go to the last Detroit game and we just have a look. So I don't want to say stuff to you guys that's like not at all researched. So Cade was running the point is what makes this tough. When Cade went out, Killian Hayes and Alec Burks both came in. You have them playing alongside each other exclusively. Killian Hayes and Alec Burks. And Ivy was being subbed out, but also playing alongside the two of them? No. Oh, this is Burks and this is Hayes. Yeah. So you have Ivy, Burks, and Hayes, all three in the game for a significant stretch. Oh, okay, so that's immediately what happened after Cade got hurt. So after Cade comes out of the game, we immediately see a lot of Ivy, Hayes, and Burks together. But then in the second half, they decide they don't want to do that, and they split Burks and Hayes minutes. Is that who's coming in for each other? Yeah. And Ivy goes out and is replaced by Alsar Thompson. So, but then they play together for a little while. I don't know what to say about this rotation, but please feel free to read some tea leaves, to have some guesses here. It's important. I just don't know what to say about this rotation. Number one, Isaiah Livers playing 31 minutes was fine. I mean, is that what we're projecting? I assume not. That was a lot of minutes. Yeah, we're projecting 24 minutes for him. He got 31, so got to add a few minutes here to Livers' docket. I think he is going to get more minutes in a competitive game. He's not a great point per minute guy, so we're not slamming him, but we're above the field on Livers for sure. That's not accident points. So there's also a possibility if you're a Wiseman fan. I am not a Wiseman fan, but you could add a Duren Wiseman fork if you wanted to. I just think all of the upside is with Duren, and I'm still not even getting to Duren. So now, anybody from the teams that aren't important stand out. Yes, there is still a guy being underprojected. His name is Isaiah Hartenstein. They are going nuts. I want to pull up the game just because it's incredible the amount they are playing Isaiah Hartenstein. I've never seen a team just completely change the usage of their center in the middle of the year quite this way. Wait, New York, there's just one New York team? Okay. But they're just playing him so much. He played 39 minutes. Just like he's jamming. I thought they played since then. Didn't they play recently? I guess not. Well, Hardenstein is getting out there, man. When they give him 39 minutes, if he doesn't get in foul trouble, he could play 39 minutes. So honestly, I'm only projecting him for like 38 minutes. When I go to 40 fantasy points, you can go higher. So for me, best plays on the slate right now, unfortunately, are like Killian Hayes, Vince Williams, and Isaiah Hartenstein, just because of their increased opportunities in the situations they're in. But those guys are all just, I mean, Hartenstein's great. Hartenstein's definitely core compared to the rest of these guys. And if he's still going to be 15%, that's just a huge mistake. I'm going to drive a truck through it. But Malik Monk, I don't know where that's coming from. If he hits shots, sure, but I'm never going more than 30% Malik Monk. There's not a situation where that's possible. Quickly, another guy who is just still not being projected for his role. 38 is what you got to project if Quickly is getting a point. Like if he's not getting in massive amounts of foul trouble, more Quickly, you should have more what's his name? Barrett. They're still projecting him for his New York usage. I mean, it's not great. You're not jamming Barrett today, but you should have a sprinkle of Barrett. You should have a fair amount of yeah, Kennard wasn't appropriately projected either. You got to make sure you have him properly up. I have my max 2 of 3 Minnesota bigs, and I added a new rule, max 2 of 3 Detroit guards, like I was mentioning at the beginning, for Hayes, Burks, and that other guy who's up here. Hayes, Burks, and I guess he's not as good of a value. Ivy is somewhere down there. But yeah, I think it's not clear to me who's gonna what that rotation is gonna be like, and I think two of them could really smash. It's possible three of them smash together. I just think that chance is below 5% for me. So if you're running 150, you don't have to run the rule. You can just increase all three of their projections. Okay. So that's probably all the crazy things I got to say for you today. At this time, have I said, oh yeah, my Nas, you get to a fair amount of Nas Reed with my Minnesota rule as well. And a fair amount of Jaren Jackson. You know what? The guys here at the top are okay as a core. Hartenstein, Vince Williams Jr., and Jaren Jackson Jr. Um, You probably want to get a sprinkle of Hayes or Burks in there as well. But if Hayes is really going to be 50%, I just don't have that confidence in this rotation. What I've done with the Detroit guys, with those point guards, is I've made them all 1/3. I think the chance is a third of Ivy, a third max of Hayes, and a third max of Burks. I just cannot trust the coaching situation, even with there just being three of them. I see how few of them there are now without Cade. I just don't trust what's going to happen in that game. Could be something really gross. Just prepare yourself for that if you back up the truck on. Let's make sure we've talked about all the chalk. Zaire Williams, get out of town. Not going to be playing more than 15% Zaire Williams under any circumstance. He still has to hit shots. He's still a guy who's not going to give you a ton of peripheral stats. So maybe I don't want to be less than half the field on Zaire, but I cannot see myself getting to more than 30% Zaire, even though I'll grant you he is a pretty solid value, but there's a lot of solid values out there today. So don't just gravitate to the one that like the computer spits out for you. Make sure your heart is in it. Okay. So that's yeah, believe in yourself, listen to your heart. And remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough. And gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us.